yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if every year Giants did a, let's call it a platinum edition, and the platinum edition gives you a bunch more official, Giants produced endorsed equipment and a new map or two, I think people would buy that. And you make it a little bit more expensive than the sort of mid-year DLCs, but keep the base engine up to date, or when you do your Platinum DLC you release a game engine update. I think more people would go for that, because now my DLC is permanent. I don't have to rebuy it every year. Okay, let's see this. Auto width. What am I doing? This one. AB straight. And B set A. Let me get this set up and then we'll talk again. Up. B. Oh, what's the button? Nope. Nope. Can't remember. Okay, well that works, so let's start driving. So anyway, yes, and as I was saying, I think that model of release, where you're producing DLC every year, producing possibly smaller game updates for free, people are more inclined to like that model, because they'll buy a new DLC in August, even if you're going to be doing your update in September, in October, because they know that DLC that they bought in August is still going to be good for the rest of the life of the game, and longer, because obviously there isn't an online component, or there isn't so much of an online component for Farm Sim. Okay, I need to look up the guidance steering controls. Quick camera, guidance steering guidance, left Alt X. Okay. Seems to be the problem. Let's straighten the wheel. That works. Yeah, that's true. And Truck Sim and Train Sim aren't console games. But then again, does a console... maybe you don't update the game until a new generation of consoles comes out. You don't do a major update. You can, because Giants are doing minor updates almost every time they bring out a new DLC pack. And they're not charging for the minor update, they're charging for the DLC pack. And we're all benefiting from the game updates. But we've got to the point now where the consoles are having a big sort of issue with left alt X. There we go. Yeah, and Farm Sim have said we're not doing Farm Sim 21 until the new the next generation of consoles are coming out, because the next generation of consoles are coming out when they would normally release Farm Sim 21. And I think that because of usually when a new console comes out, the problems of supply and demand is so complicated, and you end up with so many people can't get the new console by Christmas. That's going to affect any game publisher or maker who is relying on their big sales on that year. And so, Giants are relying on selling a lot of units of Farm Sim 21, and a lot of the console market just isn't going to be there because people can't get hold of the new console. And I'm guessing that Giants are looking at a PlayStation 5 version rather than one that is possible to run on a PlayStation 4, for example. Oops. Oh. But the life of Farm Sim could be much extended by going to a minor update with a DLC model. And I'm sure, the mod creators would be happy with that sort of setup as well. I mean, the amount of stuff that Black Sheep modding produces, and as we know, he's working on the Valley, the Old... Is it the Valley? Yeah, the Valley, the Old Farm he's working on. But no idea when that's going to be available. He's working on his MAN truck set. We haven't seen his hook lift chipper yet, which was absolutely awesome in 17. But it takes time for them to produce them, or, to mod them over to a new version of the game. And if they didn't have to do that every 2 years, we could get a lot more really good mods from those mod creators. Oh. I think I hit the tree. I think I went back. Oh, I think that's the row I want. Okay. Oh, we're nearly at the end of the field anyway, so I was looking at the content of the tank and thinking, oh, we're not going to do this. But there is an outside chance that this field might get done. 81%. No, that's good. We had 1,201 litres in the tank when we started. We've done 60% in 900 litres, so 300 is probably more than enough to get this finished. I think there is a market in mobile games, and so I don't know how much of an effort it is to convert a game like Farm Sim into a mobile game, but in a lot of cases people will do things because, well, the code's all there, and making it work on a console or a mobile isn't much of an effort. Now, a mobile game is not going to be anywhere like a console or a PC game, but it's another income stream that maybe isn't costing them that much money to take advantage of. I'm going to remember way back when game publishers would publish or game producers would produce a game for one or two of the popular PC or personal computer systems, not PC systems, and there used to be cases where the personal computer system you had chosen as your preferred just wasn't popular enough in the rest of the market for some of the smaller games to become available for it. And that's just the way it is. It's now, we're now at the point where you have obviously the console market, but you have multiple consoles and not everybody owns every console. You have PC and you have Apple Mac. So those are the systems you concentrate on. There are not nearly as many games for Linux because it's not as mass market as Apple Mac and PC Windows. But there are game publishers that will publish for Linux. Just not many of them, because they don't see as big a profit in it, or as big a return on investment. Okay, that is all of the fertilizing country. See, it's still damp in the morning. I just noticed that. And it didn't rain overnight, so I'm thinking that is an early morning dew that causes the ground to be too moist to do stuff early in the morning. Now, I don't expect to see wet ground in the summer unless it rains, because the days are going to be hotter. But spring tends to be very cold nights and misty mornings. So that's the issue there. Look at all those weeds. Ugh. I'm going to take this around the various fields that we own, just to see how things are coming along. And we'll pull up into the bus stop and climb up on the roof and take a look. Yeah, look, weeds all over that field. Now, those circles are where the telegraph poles are, telephone wires are. Don't know where they come from, but I've got three telephone poles in the middle of that field. Okay. So that was a grass field that we bought, and we planted that as soybeans. So we should get a fairly good yield out of that. I have built a gate here with some barbed wire fence into the hedges, so that if we do buy some more sheep and put them in that field, they won't be able to get at the the soybeans. The grass has already started growing. I wonder if I can go in there and fertilise that field. We've got 128 litres, we can waste that. If I can fertilise this field, that will be a good thing. I'm also thinking of running a... put that there. Where this is, I'm thinking of running a sort of a used track down along here towards the gate, so that there's sort of a where we drive to get to that field, because there's no other entrance into field 5. Oh, that can be fertilised. Well, maybe we should do that. Stop wasting that. Fold that in. I'm going to go up to the other grass field at the top of the yard. See if we can fertilise that too. That's a possibility. We'll think that we refill the tank. Come back down here. No point in wasting time when we can fertilise stuff. Because the more we can get fertilised, the more free time we have in summer to do other things. Like maybe chop down some trees. Though again, we'll have to buy a forest for that. Tractor. Hey Captain Zenk, yes, I did do the update, so I did do a little bit of spot checking when I started this morning, or before I started the stream this morning, just to make sure nothing looked broken. I haven't checked everything, but the wall and fence and gates that I put down at field 5 are good. Okay, so this is my other grass field. Let's unfold that. I'm going to need to check that because we can drive across that way along the edge, and that doesn't look like it's working. Okay, that one's not working. I'm going to assume these aren't going to work either. So this field can be fertilised because the grass has grown from stubble to first stage of grass. So I'm going to fill up the tank and then we'll come back down here and fertilise this field. The fertilisation on this field is there because we ploughed in the grass and planted a crop. We've only got one stage of fertilisation here because that came out of the cedar, and there was no crop in that field. That field was flagged as ploughed state, but wasn't reading as ploughed, which is kind of a problem. So anyway, we'll go back to there, we'll do that, we'll fold that up, we'll head back to the yard and fill up the spray. I'm fairly sure I am going to need an entire tank of fertiliser and then some for that big grass field. And there was actually a couple of things that got updated this last week. There was this map, Seasons got an update. I think this Geo got an update as well. One of the fence packs I'm using got an update. But I think most of the equipment is good. Okay, we still have wall there. It's okay. And I checked the yard over there to make sure that the shed was still there. Because sometimes when you update a map, it will destroy your placeables or mess things up in that manner. So we'll fill this up from that tank there. We're going to need to move a bit closer. These barrels are only 1,500 litres of fertiliser or water or whatever you're buying. And obviously this fertiliser tank's 2,200. I picked 2,200 because that will get you one of those out of it. So you can use this to reduce the number of IBCs that get generated when you unload stuff. And with the other rear, 3-point mounted fertiliser, it's only 1,500 litres, so you end up with 3/4 of an IBC when you unload them. So you have to watch your use of partials. So again, we can do this without GPS because I can see where I've been with the fertiliser. This tractor is going to be getting a good workout for the rest of this year. Because fertiliser, herbicide and everything else. Subsequent years I'm probably going to use it a little bit less for those jobs. But right now this is going to be our main summer tractor for field work. I don't even know if the other two main tractors we have a narrow tyre option. The other tractors we have are the Class Axion 940 by Smetty again, and the Agco 1000 in Challenger form. Now, later on I will be using some of the Class Pack. I wanted to stick with at least one Smetty CMT software class Axiom. I think it's also done a Favorite 800, which I don't know if it'll fit on this farm, but I may, review what we have. I mentioned earlier in today's session, this Valtra is from the Valtra pack, which I originally found on FS UK, but FS UK is no longer active. It included all of the Valtra series, with far more engine options than Giants gives us. So this tractor has less horsepower than the smallest Giants Valtra T, and we did use the Valtra A from the pack on our field mountain Osa family farm, and that one we used as a maximum horsepower Valtra A, which again not available from Giants in-game. And then I'm using the in-game Lindner Lindtrack for a farm tractor. That's basically moving around bales, caring for the sheep, moving the wool packs around and stuff like that. But I do have plans for a few more medium-sized tractors than we did on Lawfolds. In Lawfolds we only had the Valtra T, and then we had a lot of big class tractors. Well, 3, which is a fair number, yes. And then we had a bunch of small tractors for animal care and spraying the fields or spreading the fields. That's the thing, now that we're, now that lime's a thing, you kind of need a big spreader for lime. And the big spreader we have still needs to be refilled to work some of these fields. And also, doesn't fit row crop tyres, so I can't comfortably use it as a fertilizer spreader. I mean, obviously grass fields I can use it, and fields where growth has just happened, so an arable crop in this state I could do as with it, because big,